Hi guys, how we doing? Hope you're all well. So I'm teaching myself how to program microcontrollers using Flowcode and EBlocks, and I'm going through this curriculum here called Introduction to Microcontroller Programming, which is done by Matrix. It's 101 pages. I believe I'm on page 77 now. So I'm going through making decisions, which is basically if statements. And the last program I did was simulating a car. So you had front lights and rear lights. So if I press any of these buttons, then you still can't see. It's just darkness in here. So if you have any of the doors open on these switches here, then you get the front and rear lights both turning on. But then if you only had the boot light open, then only the rear lights will turn on and not the front lights, etc. So that was that one, part 6 of making decisions. So now on to part 7, something to do with car steering wheel. Let's have a read. So a car steering wheel has switches on it that control the external lights. Okay, yep. So full beams and whatnot, dip lights, etc. Right, I guess indicators as well. So write a program to simulate the control of the lights. Use a switch to control the left direction indicator. Use a relevant LED, which flashes on for 250 milliseconds and then off for 250 milliseconds until the switch is released. Okay, so that's fine. So that's indicating, that's doing a left indicator. So go on, let's just do that first. The flow code, I need a loop, and we're going to define an input. We're going to use, we'll use bit 0, single bit 0, and we'll make a new variable. We'll call it left indicator. Yeah, global variable, make that a boolean, and cool. So you pressed A0, you get the left indicator. I feel like I should just add a delay in here always, so maybe I will for now. Although, yeah, it already wants it to be done for 250 milliseconds, so yeah. Well, let's just go on 250 milliseconds. Cool. So we read the input. Now we've got a delay for 250 milliseconds. What we want is to write to an output, so we want to write to an appropriate LED. So if we do I guess bit 7 on port C, which would be, if you follow along, it'll be this LED here. So if I go port C and I want to write 128, which will then turn on that last bit. I could do bit masking as well. That's probably a bit easier. I'll just do that, and then I could just turn them all on with 255, but only write to that one there. All right, and then so will that flash? That won't flash off, so let's flash it off, and same again, 250 milliseconds. So we will write 0 to the entire port, and now just quickly test that. So build, compile to target, and so what we've got here now is we're saying the left indicator, read the input at A0, and then write 255, so turn all of the LEDs on, but and it only with the last, with the most significant bit. So this one here, so that should just turn on just that LED. Do that for 250 milliseconds, then turn them all off, and then rinse and repeat. So this is actually already flashing, so that's interesting. Oh yeah, okay. So that's flashing because I have not put an if statement. I've just told it to do that. So let's go decision, and then we want all of this bit in here, and we want to say, I would love to be able to drop that there as part of the decision, just like if that, but that's fine. So if left indicator, do that. That should work. So that's simulating. So that's blinking now, and then it will now only blink when I press the button. And I guess there's no debounce. I'd like to press it once and have it set, maybe. That's kind of what I would like. So let's press it. That just turns it on. If I hold it, it will blink. If I release it, it stops. So that's not great. I would say you press it once and it's set, and then you press it again maybe. But yeah, all right, that's fine. Let's carry on. So use another switch to control the right indicator. Okay, so that's okay. The same again, we'll do A1 this time. Bit confusing actually. Let's do, the reason why I say it's confusing, find that boolean. So what I've done here now is I've got left indicators. I'm getting confused switching between screens. So left indicator will do as bit 1 and right indicator as bit 0, and then we'll use the right indicator to turn on LED 0 and the left indicator to turn on LED 7. So right indicator is 0, left indicator needs to be 1, and then let's copy and paste this whole thing, and then if, do right first, if right indicator, if right indicator, then do that, but we want it on, we need to change the masking, so instead of that LED, that one, and we're good. Okay, that should work. Yep. So I've just got the same bit of code now to say if that LED, if that push button bit 0 is pressed, then we do bit 0 LED. If A1 is pressed, then we do 7 LED, and flash them. Again, I would like a set here, but that's fine. So press this one, that's flashing, so that's bit 0, and the next one, yep, flashing. Cool. Anything else? So use 2 LEDs as brake lights controlled by a switch which light up for as long as it's pressed. Okay, so we'll do, I guess, I don't know, A2, that is the third bit, second, yeah, bit 0, 1, bit 2, and we'll call that brake lights, brake global variable boolean. Yep. This is all just extremely repetitive. I don't think anyone's learning anything here. So if I copy and pasted that, I have, let's do if brake lights, and then we're going to write 255, and we're going to write it to, instead of that bit, we'll write it to the 2 middle ones, 4 and 3. You see, this is easier, this bit masking thing, than it is trying to figure out what the binary is, that, or what the decimal equivalent of that is in binary, etc. So write that, and then we want to just leave it on for as long as it's pressed. So we're not writing 0 bit afterwards. So again, that should work. Currently downloading. So we should turn on 2 of the middle LEDs when the 3rd button is pressed. So flashing right indicator. Oh, you can't see it. So flashing right indicator, flashing left indicator, and then 2 brake lights in the middle. And they stay on as long as it's pressed. Very nice. Oh no, it didn't turn off. Okay, that makes sense. So we need to write, oh dear, we need to write 0 to this output, probably at the beginning of each. That's right. So to the entire port, just set that all back to 0. Bit of cleanup. There, the LEDs just stayed on. I guess if I'd pressed any of the other push buttons, it would have reset them. Okay, so right indicator, again you can't see it, bloody hell, I need to make my thing smaller. All right, right indicator, left indicator, and then 2 in the middle. If I let go, hey, yep, nice and simple. What's next? Create headlights which light when a switch is pressed and stay on until it's pressed again. What? The headlights, okay, so I can use the 2 next to the indicators, but what I'm not familiar with, and what I'm not understanding, I guess, is when a switch is pressed. So I'm going to press number 4, bit 4. Okay. And stay on until it is pressed again. Okay, so it's a set sort of thing, like I was saying with the, okay. Yep, I get you. So we will use, let's use A3, so the 4th button now. And we'll call this headlights. And then we're going to say if headlights. Again, it's all just extremely repetitive, but I am interested in this set process now. So if you want the headlights to be pressed, or if you press the headlights, we're going to turn on the 2 LEDs next to the indicators. The problem with this program now is that you wouldn't be able to turn on your left indicator, right indicator, and everything. I think that wouldn't work. So just to check that, I haven't downloaded it yet. But if I just press the first 2 buttons, I don't think anything's gonna happen. Okay, what? So yeah, so that would be like the equivalent of my hazards being on, but they should be flashing at the same time. But the way the code's written is pretty bad, so they're not. That's fine. Okay. Anyways, so we want so that these two bits turn on, but we want them to stay on. So again, we need, I've done this already. We need a calculation, and what we need is like a trigger. I call these ONSs one shot. So headlights ONS. I'm going to call it headlights ONS. Headlights ONS is equal to headlights. Oh, is equal to 1. Let's do that. So that's like a set, I guess. And then, so if you press the headlights are set to 1. And then we say if headlights. If headlights are set to 1, maybe. Don't know. Headlights ONS. So if headlights ONS, then write that to the output. As in turn it on. What do I do with the trigger now? And then reset the trigger back to 0. I don't know, because then I've got this cleanup code at the top here, which is writing 0 to port C. I'm lost now. So if we press the headlight button, then we want to, oh dear, we press the headlight button, set that flag to true, and then write to the output. I think here. I think what I do is I increase this delay to 1 second, and then I say headlights ONS is equal to, oh dear, I don't know, 1. I need a way of resetting it now. So if you press it, it then sets that flag to 1 to true and writes to the output. And then if that output is true, okay, if the output is true and headlights is pressed, like there, if the output is true and headlights is pressed, then set the headlights ONS to 0 now and turn off the LEDs. I'm close, but no, that ain't gonna work either. Okay, so if the headlights flag is set, then check if we've pressed the button. If we have pressed the button, reset the flag. Okay. But if you press the button and the flag is not set, I guess. I'm not sure that these I'm not sure I can double up switch like ands and ors and do multiple conditions in if statements. So alright, if headlights is set and headlights ONS, I've just put a switch, so I meant to put decision. If headlights ONS, if you press the headlight button and you have the headlight ONS, okay, let's go this way. So do that and then copy that over to there. All right, I think my head's getting there now. So if the headlights is pressed and you have the one shot, then reset the headlights, reset the one shot and just do nothing, I guess. And then if you don't have the one shot, then set a flag. And then I guess what? No, because you want to write to 0, but I think it will write to 0 because it's going to reset there anyways. So I expect that to. I think that might work. Sorry, you know what I'm struggling with? Yeah, I'm trying to think and talk at the same time, and it's not going well for me. So what's happening is that I'm actually saying half of what I'm thinking. So yeah, I apologize if you're not able to keep up with my logic there. My head's a bit all over the place. So let's think about this. So let's go right blinker, that works. Left blinker, that works. What is this, headlights? Or what was this? Oh, I've left this bit of code in. Crap. I need to delete this bit here. So that was brake lights, the other one. So let's delete that and start again. If headlights ONS. Alright, compile again. So the next switch was brake lights. So that we're okay with. And then it's the headlights. If the headlights are pressed, if they're not pressed, don't do anything. If they are pressed, then check if the one shot is set. If the one shot's set, then reset it. If the one shot's not set, then set it and turn on the LEDs. Yeah, that might not work. I can see a little bug. All right, so right blinker, left blinker, brake lights, and now headlights. Okay, so just stays on for a little bit. Just does that 1 second, then it's getting reset. Okay. So here at the top, everything gets set back to 0, which is okay. Then let's walk through this logic. So if the headlights are being pressed, then check if the one shot. Damn, forgive me, I'm tired. I got up 5:30 this morning. So if headlights, check to see if the one shot's been pressed. If the one shot's been pressed, if the one shot's set, if it's set, reset it, which is okay. If it's not set, then set it, turn it on. Now what happens? So it's now set, and it just resets itself every time. Okay, so that's no good. So what condition do we need to stop it from resetting? I don't know, man. I can't get my head into Flowcode, and I think with PLCs this is so easy, and my brain just keeps going to PLCs, and I need to get away from that quickly. And the thing is, I guess I would just nowadays I just ask ChatGPT and just like what I'm trying to do here. So yeah, my brain's a bit fried, I must say. I just had to think, and just to get my head away from PLCs, I'm going to delete this one-shot stuff, and I'm going to instead I'm going to use a counter to just try and get my head back to basics. So if I just say headlights counter, just keep it simple. So headlights counter is equal to headlights counter plus 1, or is equal to 1, I should say. So that means I've pressed the push button once, right? And then it turns on the LEDs. If then so at that point I just want these LEDs to stay on, don't I? Right? So I kind of want to say if the headlight counter is set, then keep it on. Let's do another if statement here. This is such crappy code. So if the headlights counter is equal to 1, or if the headlights counter is on, doesn't matter. If the headlight counter is equal to 1, then keep these. So we can just move this whole thing here. Keep them on. Otherwise, there we go. Reset it. Ah, bloody hell. That was just painful, man. Okay. So, didn't help that I'm tired. Didn't help that I was thinking one shot, and I was just thinking, I kept thinking in my head like, oh, with a Siemens PLC, you just got a positive trigger. It's just nice and simple. And then, yeah, that was just clouding my judgment. So I think this will work. I don't doubt myself here. So right indicator, left indicator, brakes, and then now headlight. Pressed it once, stayed on. Turn off. Oh wait. Which I'm press the right one. Okay, it's not turning off. Yeah, bugger. Okay, so we're close. Why are you not turning off? If headlight counter is equal to 1. Okay, I'm not resetting the counter. I am. So if you get the headlight button, then I'm checking here to see if there's a what's this thing doing here? If headlights counter is equal to 1, then set it back to 0. That should work. Because then I'm pressing the headlight button. Let's have a look again. Let's restart the microcontroller. So which button is it? It's the 4th button, yeah? So that does the headlights. If I press it again now, no, I think that should be working. So, alright, what's wrong? If you then, am I stuck here? I'm not stuck here. If headlight, because the headlight counter is still equal to, it should be reset. If you get the headlight thing, can I put this in here? Ooh, that's cool. So only if you don't have the headlight signal anymore, then do that maybe? That's a bit tricky. Let's try and understand this. So if you have oh dear, if you have the headlight signal, then you check to see if you have the counter. If you have the counter, then reset it. If you don't have the counter, then set the counter. Then you go back, you go through the program. The next iteration of the program, you then say, the next cycle, you then say, do I have the do I have the headlight signal? No, I don't. Do I have the counter? Yes, I do. Therefore, write to the output, and then at what point? Okay. Again, I think the previous code should work, and I do think that this should work as well. Again, this is just not great. Like, how much of this has to do with this curriculum? What am I being taught here? That's what I'd like to know. Because at the moment, I'm not being taught anything. I'm just guessing. And it's not fun, really. So, 4th LED. Okay, it's turned on. It turned off. Turned on. It kind of... Is it not catching my button press? Oh, it's stuck now. Oh, it's turned off. It'd be like... This would be like owning a French car. The electronics are just dodgy. It sometimes works, sometimes doesn't. So maybe I just need a bit of a delay in the decision making process here. I mean, obviously, I've said this 1,000 times now, and it's grinding my gears. These push buttons should be interrupts for what I want to use them for. And so I don't know where the program is when I'm pressing the push button. So I'm pressing the push button, and if the program's, you know, think about it, if the program's down here doing something, it ain't looking at my inputs at the top here. So these should be interrupts, but I could slow the program down stupidly and start chucking some random delays in all over the place. So yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna give up there, I think, and I hope you can forgive me. I think that is good enough. Again, I'm making do with a pretty poor curriculum. I don't want to say crappy, but it's a pretty poor curriculum. So finish off with a pair of fog lights in the same way. So I'm not going to do that. We'll scratch that. It's the exact same thing. Don't attempt to write this program all at once. Divide it into subsections and solve each separately before putting them all together. To make it easier, use the labeling feature of Flowcode. Oh, to make it easier. How nice of you. You know what would make it easier? Freaking answer sheet, man. Telling me what to do. Anyways, next one, and this is the last one on bloody if statements, is 8, and it's got something to do with sheep, so I'm not looking forward to that. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm sorry it was so long. It takes me a while to get my head around this programming stuff. I'm trying to learn, and I feel I'm a little bit up against the wall here at the moment. So yeah, I apologize. Thank you for watching, and I shall see you, lovely people, in the next one. My mouse is just, my wireless mouse has stopped working, so I'm about to grab my wired mouse to stop my recording. So apologies. See you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.